So I've been off YouTube for a couple of months now because I have something like a creative block. I'm not sure if I'm out of it yet, but let's say I'm trying to get better. And every single time I have a creative block, I end up returning to a few specific books. And one of these books is Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way. This book is, well, controversial, to say the least. Some people absolutely swear by it and say that everyone should go through the 12-week course, others not so much. A pretty common criticism that this book gets is that it's too spiritual, too woo-woo, let's say. Some say that it doesn't help, which is completely fine because a book cannot be helpful for everyone. So I'm not here to review the book, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. I just want to talk about a specific journaling technique that I learned from this book. I use it every single day, and I truly believe that it has a positive influence on me. For me, the effectiveness of this technique has been tested by time, and so far, it's one of the best journaling methods that I have discovered. I know there might be a lot of other techniques that you might prefer better, but I'm not talking about other stuff. In this video, I'm talking about this specific technique that I really enjoy and that you might enjoy as well. So I'm here to share it with you. The reason why I'm sharing this is because this book is very popular among creatives and artists. But surprisingly, not many people outside those circles know about this technique. So even if you're not a painter, a writer, or a designer, this might still be useful for you. So what's the journaling method that I'm talking about? It's called morning pages. According to Julia Cameron, you have to write 3 full pages every morning right after you wake up. The only rule is that there are no rules and no filters when you're writing. It looks like stream of consciousness. You just sit down every morning and pour every single thought that comes to your mind. Don't try to judge yourself, don't censor your thoughts, and don't try to sound profound or smart. Since you've just woken up, your writing will usually be absolutely horrendous, sometimes incoherent, but that's exactly the point. The goal is not to write a masterpiece. With these pages, you're just trying to get everything out. 3 pages of whatever crosses your mind. That's all there is to it. If you can't think of anything to write, then write, I can't think of anything to write. Do this until you have filled 3 pages. Do anything until you have filled 3 pages. For me, writing 3 pages takes around 30 minutes. Which means that it's 10 minutes per page. If you don't have the time to write 3 pages, you can write 1 or 2. Of course, Julia Cameron does not recommend that, but sometimes I do that because I don't have the time or the desire to write for additional 10 minutes. I know that 30 minutes sounds like a lot. A lot of people give up because they say that it's too time consuming or they don't see the benefit right away. But speaking from my experience, it's the opposite. So a little backstory. I discovered this technique years ago in a screenwriting class at university. Our professor told us to try it for a week. I tried it and then never really stopped. I wrote morning pages for months and I kept doing it because I felt like they really improved my mental health and my creativity. Then, unfortunately, life got more complicated. I started working full-time, so I stopped. Waking up earlier to write was too much to ask. This long break actually made me realize how effective this journaling method is. But now that I'm in search of my creativity once again, I've returned to this practice. And I've been doing it for about a month, and I can definitely say that I feel much better. You might be skeptical or you might be excited to try it. It doesn't really matter because the only way to find out is to try it yourself. So let me give you 3 reasons why I think morning pages is one of the best journaling methods out there, especially for anyone who creates, but honestly for anyone who wants clarity in their life. This practice is the only space where I don't have to battle my inner critic. I know that a lot of us carry this internal censorship that stops us from creating the way we want. For me, this is the only place where I don't have to worry about anything. Nobody's going to read it, and I know that I will get rid of this notebook when I'm done, so I can write whatever I want. It's okay to sound stupid, it's okay to be too emotional, and to say things that you would never say out loud. That freedom eventually spills into my actual work. I try to carry the same sense of calm and peace and the absence of judgment into everything else I create. If you're a creative person like myself, this kind of practice can be incredibly effective for you. Most of us struggle with inner critics, and having a space where you can be completely honest is liberating. For this practice, I use a random notebook. Usually I pick something unfinished that was collecting dust in my drawer, so I just repurpose it. Here's my notebook. It's old. I probably bought it like 10 years ago, but it works. It works perfectly. I use the cheapest pens, the cheapest paper, and the beautiful part is that I don't care. I'm not keeping it anyway. You can literally write anything on a page and then tear it up. It has nothing to do with your real journal, which most people feel has to be neat, clean, and perfect. Most mornings, my writing is so messy that I can't read it myself. But who cares? No one, right? Because I'm not planning to read it again. The first thing that I think about when I wake up is all the things that I have to get done, and generally it's pretty overwhelming. A lot of the times I catch myself being anxious or stressed even before the day starts. I think these feelings are pretty common, and I'm not the only one. I hope so, at least. Maybe you don't like your job, maybe you're tired of school and endless stream of assignments. Morning person, and waking up early feels like torture. We've all been there. So as a consequence, if you don't pour these thoughts out, they will follow you around throughout the day. It gets even worse when your grumpy mood starts spilling over to other people. If you don't want to come off as constantly irritated, negative, or the person who always complains, writing everything down is a great fix. Once you let out everything and complain, talk about that one project, that one assignment that you absolutely despise, you will feel much better. I always do it, and it feels like a mental cleanse. If you suck at meditation like I do, morning pages can be your alternative. Julia Cameron herself describes them as a form of meditation, and I completely agree. When you meditate, you try to ignore your thoughts and focus on a particular thing, like your breathing. When you write, you do the opposite. You just write everything without thinking about it too much. In my experience, morning pages, just like meditation, help me lower stress and quiet anxiety. That's one of the main reasons I keep doing them every single day. I just don't want to carry all that mental clutter and negativity around. If you complain about something once, maybe it's a coincidence. But if you find yourself complaining about something every single day, maybe it's a sign. Morning pages allow you to get to know yourself better and to discover hidden patterns about your personality and your life. When you write first thing in the morning before your brain turns on its filters and the inner critic, you end up meeting a version of yourself that's a lot more honest. Sometimes I get extremely excited about something and I just can't stop writing about it. I probably wouldn't even realize how much I like it if I didn't write about it. And the same goes for the opposite. Sometimes I discover that I really hate something and I'd never notice if I weren't writing those pages. So if you want to get to know yourself better, your patterns, your behaviors, your thoughts, this works pretty well. Morning pages are a great filter on their own. When I write mine, I usually end up talking about things that happened the day before, something that I learned, something that caught my attention, or just something that really stuck with me. By doing that, I naturally filter what actually mattered and what didn't. That way, you start to see things that truly mean something to you. Remember, this practice is not supposed to feel like a chore. If it does, you should probably stop or take a break. Try it for 30 days or even a couple of weeks and see what happens. It might feel tedious at first, but once you start to see the benefits of it, your motivation will increase. And if nothing changes, I would say don't force it. I've seen people who prefer to journal at night or during the day, and it's completely okay because we're all different. Let me know if you're going to try this method, or maybe you're already doing something similar. Do you love it? Do you hate it? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you'd like to take your note-taking to the next level, you can watch my Zettelkasten video right here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video, if my creative block will not stop me from creating another one.